So for over 10 years, Allison Graham has been helping professionals grow their top-line revenue. Her best-selling book, From Business Cards to Business Relationships, Profitable Networking and Personal Branding Made Easy, is the foundation of her consulting work. She's been featured as an authority on sales and networking in the media and worked with some of North America's most influential brands, including BMO.
Yay, love BMO!
And that's Allison's public image. Behind the scenes, she's been dealt a series of difficult blows that magnified the collision between home and work, her struggles with chronic pain, grief, and the internal messenger of BS have earned her the moniker Resiliency Ninja. I practiced that already.
Did you?
At the end of the night, after a bunch of wine, you're all going to have to say that. Oh, we didn't tell you there's a test, right? In her latest book, which you all have a copy on your tables, I Married My Mom, Birthed a Dog, and How to Be Resilient When Life Sucks. Allison makes people feel less alone in their struggles and gives them tools to ensure that tough times don't have to dictate your level of success. Now, here to talk to us about the journey to Resiliency Ninja, help me welcome Allison Graham.
Thank you so much, and I must say that one of the greatest strategies I had during my decade of hell was what I call my army of allies. And every one of us has them, and I just want to recognize BMO, A, for being a part of my army of allies, because they were a really important client through all that time, and a lot of friends who work with the bank, but also that they recognize the importance of bringing women together and supporting women who are professional. And I think if we could just have all the BMO representatives stand up and be recognized, I would love to do that for them. Who would be relieved to hear that I did not literally marry my mother? And I did not actually give birth to a dog. But there are many days through what I call my decade of hell that it felt like I did. And when I first started talking about the book, and I'm going to write this book, and I got some very strange looks. Now, my friends who lived it with me, they knew this joke. I mean, it started back, this part of the joke started around 2010. When my mom moved into town and I found my dog. But other people were like, I have no clue what it means, but I think I'll read it. And I'm like, all right, that's good. So essentially what it's all about is opening the conversation between the collision of who we are personally and how we show up professionally. And the more successful we get, the harder it is for us to, A, separate the two, but also to take that time and actually be miserable. Now, you may have noticed that things don't come at you in once, right? So if something goes wrong, everything goes wrong. Can anybody identify with this?
Yes.
It's like we have the proverbial fan, and it is blowing. And it doesn't have a soft speed that says, between 9 and 5, I am only going to provide for you work problems. And between 5 and 10, I will deal you with a few little personal problems. And then at 11 o'clock, no problems at all, because I know you need a good night's sleep. It just doesn't work that way. But we still have to show up with a smile on our face. And I believe that we are all, at some capacity, if not right now, at some point in our life, playing the game whack-a-mole. Do you remember the game whack-a-mole? Like, and like one comes up and you get it down and got that one, then the next one, and the next one, and then all of a sudden, and we're all doing that behind our back, privately. And the reason I wanted to write this book and I wanted to come clean with what was happening behind the curtain in my life was because I am the person who's in the media and I look fine, and you can't tell I'm in pain, can you? No. And yet I feel like so many of us are doing that and putting a smile on our face when we really don't want to. So now let me take you back, if you will. 10 years ago, I was 32 years old, in March 5th, 2007. And about 4 months earlier, I had started my new company. It was called Elevate Biz. And I was going to teach people how to network and go out and meet people and build their business, and everything was great. And then I went in for a simple surgery. Like just a few minutes, little surgery. And then, at the end of the week, I was actually flying to Bosnia. So that's how much I thought the surgery was going to matter in my life. Now, I know some of you are healthcare professionals, and you know that there's no such thing as a simple surgery. And sometimes things go wrong. And for me, a lot went wrong. And so I woke up the next day in the hospital, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's this new pain? I've never felt that. That is my first glimpse into the gates of hell, right there. And so I woke up, and I did not know that the rest of my life was going to be forever changed. It was in just a moment. And so fast forward a couple years, I figured out, and you may have this too in your life, you can do anything in public for like an hour, right? Like there's like this roller coaster ride, and my roller coaster was basically perform in public, collapse in private. And I don't know if you've ever felt like that, but you've gone to work and you're like, yeah, I got this all covered, and then you get home, and who gets the brunt of us carrying the bad day that we couldn't let out at work, right? So that really became my life. Now, there was a time, there was a moment. So okay, so we start with the pain. There were 5 surgeries. You can read the book, it's all in there. BMO, thank you for buying a book for everybody. Yay! And then I went through a series of, in a couple months, 6 people died who were really important in my life. And then I started having all these random injuries. Like not my fault injuries. Like I was changing a tire in a NASCAR and somebody kicked the tire and it fell off and broke my nose. Was that my fault? No. Anyway, so I will save you that saga. But I am just 2 days after the 5th funeral, devastated. And I know, because at this point I sort of let my business kind of, like I'm doing okay and I'm working with clients and I'm showing up and I'm making it happen, but like there's pressure piling up here and I need a really good contract to come through. So I teach networking, of course, I can show up, I can get the meeting, so I got the meeting and it happened to be downstairs here at the London Club, but all I want to do and all I can think about is my couch. And I know there is a full PVR of videos that can take me away and numb me out, and I'm going to be like, that's what I need right now because I'm feeling that horrible adversity. And I'm sitting at this lunch meeting with 2 executives from a bank, and they're talking, and at one point they just start talking with each other. So if you've ever been in a networking or a sales meeting that is so bad that the people who you're trying to sell to ignore you and start talking to the other people, that was that moment. And he looks over at me, the guy from across the table, and goes, so Allison, tell me, what do you like to do in your spare time? Now, I like to do a lot of things in my spare time. I can think of anything. I like to downhill ski. I like to go out. I like to do politics. I volunteer a whole bunch because this is the life I have been living. And what do I say? I like to watch TV. Oh, well, that's lovely. And all I can think in my mind is, oh my gosh, what did you just say? Like, this is going to be your biggest client. Anyway, next thing you know, I was like, I'm out of there, I'm fine, off we go. I'm home, I get back to my couch. And then, next thing you know, so it's piling up, and I'm in the doctor's office. I was at the pain center in Mount Sinai, Toronto. And I am losing it. And I gotta tell you this too, in terms of a preface for the book. My goal was not to tell people to become positive thinkers. Has anybody read a book or heard a self-help guru tell you to think positively? I just finished a blog post that's entitled, How Positive Thinking Will Make You Miserable. Because at the end of the day, we have the bad days, and I want us to recognize those and deal with it so that we can move forward and make some more good days. So this was a bad day. I'm off of I like to watch TV lunch, and my pain is so bad, and I'm really having trouble keeping up. And the doctor says to me, Allison, you are going to have to reevaluate your life. I think you need to consider that you probably will never get to work full-time again in your life. He's probably right about that. He said, I think this business that you've got going on, you've got to let that go. And I would seriously consider with your condition going on disability. And that was a moment. And I believe when adversity hits every one of us, there are moments that are going to take us in a path. And for me, there were many moments along the way. And it was, am I going to become a victim and let this surgery and the subsequent issues that came with that define me and define my level of success? Or am I going to become a resiliency ninja? Except it was more like, I'm not giving up. something's gotta give. And so I took it and I said, okay, how can I treat this personal issue like one of my consulting clients? Sounds like a good idea, right? So how can I look at this from a very objective perspective on how I can continue to grow? And I liked this idea of the Resiliency Ninja because like imagine like a Hollywood ninja, you know those movies? And like I imagine them like, you know, going behind the scenes and like out of the shadows, and then somebody comes and they go, and they kick them down, and it's like, oh, I got you. And then they come out and like you don't even know that they were like just going through that fight. That's what I imagine as a Resiliency Ninja, and what we're all trying to do and what we're playing. And so, anyhow, here we go. I am like, what can we do with this? And there was something that was pivotal for me, and I want to share that with you tonight. And actually this morning I thought, how stressed out was I back then? Has anybody ever done one of those stress indicator tests? Oh, okay. Well, so essentially what they do is they have this big long list of all the things that could be stressing you out, and they get like a numeric value. Okay? And if you're over a certain number, you got problems. If you're not, you're good. So I did it today thinking back to that time, and my score would have been 734. And it said, anything over 330 is a bit of a problem. We might want to intervene. But what I noticed in that was that they were treating everything under the word stress. Anybody feel stress? Great. But we have stress. That's one thing. This is like a continuum of challenges. Then we have obstacles. And then we have adversities. And what I realized is that I was often treating adversities like they were stress and stress like they were adversities. So let me walk you through what this might look like. The way I would define stress is that it is self-imposed. If you are under stress, it is your fault. Because it is an unrealistic expectation to do too much with too little time with not enough of the right resources. And so we need to figure out how do we manage that, and in the book you get a ton of strategies on how to do that. Now an obstacle is a legitimate thing in your path. Okay, but here's the great thing about an obstacle. An obstacle, you can jump over an obstacle, you can move an obstacle, you can get it out of the way, you can chew it if you were my dog, like whatever you want. There are ways around and to fix obstacles. Okay, so these things should not block us. Adversities are the things that come from the outside and will forever change our life. Losing a relative, having some neuropathic pain, whatever it is, adversities are the things but here's what happens when something goes wrong. We spend a lot of our time here wishing that it would go back to the way it used to be. It's never going back to the way it used to be. And until I looked at my challenges and I wrote out all the lists and started to think, okay, where do they fall on the continuum of challenges? It made it very difficult to move forward. And so I would encourage you to do that if you're going through tough times, writing down everything that's going on in your life, and then figuring out, are they stress, obstacles, or adversity? Because then we can come up with a game plan. So my business consulting mind said this, I am going to, because I can control stress, I'm going to get better at managing stress, and by making better decisions, learning how to say no, all of those things, and having better realistic expectations on how I spend my days. Okay, so that's stress. Then I'm going to look at all the obstacles that are in my way. Obstacles are often the result of our adversities. So now let me tell you what that might mean. For me, I could no longer drive for long distances in the 401. The problem was most of my clients were in Toronto. And so I called Mom and I said, Mom, I know that you have a great life back there as a retired teacher. And she was a widow. My dad had died the year before. And I said, will you come and be my chauffeur? Now, who has grown kids that have already left the nest? And would you like to give up your life and go and move in with them so you can be a chauffeur? Probably not. And she said, sure. And so she did. And what happened, the Mary my mom she came for necessity. And it turned out not only did she drive me, she used to drive me to the BMO IFL, or ILF, or whatever it is, right? And it was so funny because I would be I had a room that they always put me in, I do these workshops. And I would watch out the window, and my mom and my dog would be walking for the whole day. And then when I would text her and say, I'm ready, I'm done at the end of the day, she would pull up to the front, I would get in, get hugs and kisses and love from Winston, and then I would go to sleep, and I would take 5 days off. And that became what I had to do in terms. So that was an obstacle. The pain was never going away. The people who died were never coming back, but what did it do? What could I actually control? And so I think that understanding what we can and cannot control can make a big difference in how we manage our stress and how we can get through things. Fair enough? All right. Now I want to tell you how Winston came to my day. You know how there were good days, bad days? Well, it was another bad day. I had several of them, by the way. And I was driving on the 401 and I hit my point where the pain hit. There's a point before you get to the Woodstock Service Center and the 402 and the 401 come together. Have you driven it? You know what I mean? That moment is when my pain triggered. I couldn't handle it anymore, especially if I had hit traffic. And so wherever I was actually coming back from Cambridge this time. And I was on the phone with my friend, and she's like, you know what you need? You need a little bit of puppy love. And I'm like, okay. She goes, if you go out to Stratford, there are all these little dogs there. Go get some love and you'll feel better. And I said, oh, that's the sign. And it was the next exit. And so off I went, and I went to Stratford. Hindsight, it was sort of a dumb decision because all I needed to do was get off the road, but whatever. So I get there and I look at these dogs. And the first little, please don't judge me, it was actually a pet store where the dogs were, but I'm just going for puppy love, no intention of buying a dog. And the first little bundle is this little bin of chihuahuas. Yes, they're very cute. But you know what's about chihuahuas? They shed. And so I picked it up and I'm like, I love you, but I've got Navy on and I can't talk to you anymore. And so I did, and I went around and I did the whole thing, and then I kind of was like, okay, I got enough love, I gotta go home. And I started walking. And all of a sudden, I see the very last bin is this little black thing just going. Look at his paws. And he looks up and he catches my eye. And he goes, Mom. And he, you know, and all the other dogs are like hiding fishing out like a bin. There are a whole bunch of them. And he's like, I don't care. And he jumped over these dogs and he's like, what is going on with that guy? And he flew up those stairs because they had little stairs closest to me. And by the time I got there, he had jumped into the air and I grabbed him. And I could never put him back down. And the love that came from this little four-legged black fur who, you know, is just likes to kiss a lot, right? He's just like, you know, he'll get your neck and, you know, get your hair if you're bald and you're on the couch, and if you were bald, obviously, here. And so he just loves. And what that did, if you think about, you know, 32 years old when all of this started to transpire, and, you know, Mr. Right and the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids, and at this point, like, I've got a fence. It's not white, so that's fine. But he was that maternal instinct that, you know, satisfied that and made being at home. Because one of the things when you're in pain or you have this going on in your life is you become very isolated. And isolation leads to mental health challenges. And then when you get depressed, it's harder to get out. And when you're depressed, it's harder to find the pain, deal with the pain and all of that. So it's just this vicious cycle. And so Winston was a beautiful, wonderful thing, and you guys might have kids or a husband or anything like that, or that might be helping you along that. So here it is, I keep going and going and going. But no matter what, I could never find who I used to be. And I always, even though I could, you know, show up and I could do the talks and I could do all that, there was something missing. And if you've gone through horrible times in your life, you may have felt this as well. What I finally figured out is that there was so much anger and so much hate towards the surgeon who screwed up, the people who fixed me, and all of that, the fact that it was never going back to the way it was, there was just so much anger. And I remember the night that I finally let it go and I forgave. And not only did I have to forgive him, but I had to forgive myself for putting myself in the position of a surgeon I didn't know. And all of the things that went with it. And I think what it takes to forgive takes a very long time to build, but it happens in an instant. And in that instant is when I found my joy again. And when you find joy, you can deal with pain better. But when I wrote my book, I was up at 4:15 many mornings, and I'm like, can I start writing again? Like it just flowed, because it was joyful, and it was purposeful. And I can drive myself down to Toronto as long as I'm going for something that I believe is worth going for. And that I'm going to enjoy it and with people who I love and with the army of allies. And so that was sort of a little bit about the journey and the purpose and everything that came to be, that is the book, The Road to Resiliency Ninja. And I know that somebody in this room is going through something, guaranteed. And if you're not going through it now and you've never gone through it before, something's coming, be careful. Because it's just the way life works. But every time something happens, there's a choice. You can either let it define you and go into victimhood, or you can choose to become a resiliency ninja. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Bima.
I'm going to dare to not use the microphone. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Allison. I think you gave us a lot of insight and probably touched everybody at some point in your story of something that we're going through. And we really appreciate you giving us some good food for thought, and to forgive ourselves and to find joy and to let go of things in the past. I do have to ask you though, when you were going through all of this, was there something that your financial institution did for you that made it easier?
So it's interesting because the financial stress was significant, and in having a wonderful banker or whatever we want to, like a financial advisor, was so significant because and I'm the first one, I talk about being in debt in that book. I'm no longer in debt, and thank God I'm not, but I'll tell you, I was. And having that constant communication and knowing that they were on my side and that there was no judgment and that they were going to work with me to get through this was significant. And I think as part of your army of allies, we have to look at who is in your corner. And you need to have a banker and especially private wealth and all of that, who knows you and cares about your outcome and is going to give you the best options that will serve you at that point in your life. Now, probably I got a little bit too much of a line of credit given what was going on, but you know what, they got me through. And I think BMO does such great work, and especially like somebody like Jocelyn, who's one of my favorites. Caring about the plan and being in front, really knowing what's going on and wanting to get to know people. I think that sets you apart from all of the other banks who are not doing things like this and supporting women. So, yay, BMO.
For all of you that get emails from us, the bottom line always says we're here to help, and we are really here to help. So thank you, Allison.
Awesome. Thank you.